If you want to start decluttering with ADHD, one of the best things that you can do is to do a daily declutter. And here are some benefits. One, you don't have to do these long, drawn out decluttering sessions where you go into a room or your home and start decluttering for 2 hours, 3 hours, a half day, a full day to try to get through everything at one time. This can be super boring and super frustrating if you have ADHD because you don't want to have to sit through all that time and try to get everything done at once. You're just going to get bored and possibly frustrated when you're trying to do that. Instead, you want to do a daily declutter. You take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of your day, and you go around and go through and declutter things, throw things away, put things back. And this way you're breaking it down into little decluttering sessions instead of one huge one, and you still get to the same point, which is to make your home clutter free. And the thing about this is when you do a daily declutter, you're actually maintaining every day, so it's much easier to keep your home clutter free as well. Another benefit about doing a daily declutter is you find things that you have lost, and with ADHD, this is a big deal. A lot of times, you just lose things. You forget where things are. You don't know where you put something down, and you forget that you put it down that place. And so when you're going around and decluttering your home and getting rid of stuff, you're going to uncover things that you had no idea was in this area. You're like, oh, that's what I was looking for the other day. And now you found that item. Or you find stuff that you were intending to get rid of that you just forgot where it was, and now you can actually get rid of that thing. This is a great thing about actually being able to declutter stuff and get rid of stuff. You're making more stuff visual, you're creating more space, and there's less space for things to hide behind or hide under, and that makes it much easier to find things overall. Another benefit is you find all the hidden clutter in your home. When you're going around and doing a daily declutter each day, you're going to find the stuff that is behind something, that is under something that you didn't see, you didn't even know it was there until you start doing this process. And now you see it, and now you know that it's clutter. And so now you can get rid of it because you actually know that it's in that location and it doesn't belong in that location. This also includes things that are just in a random place in your home that don't belong in that spot that you've been looking for to put back in its rightful spot. When you find these things, take them back to the place that they're designated, and that's going to clean up the other area that is cluttered. And when you start to pick up that thing and take it back to the place you designated for it, don't take it, pick it up and put it down somewhere else before taking it back to that place. Go ahead, make sure you only put it down once, you only pick it up once, and then you're going to have it in the place that it actually belongs. And here's something awesome. You don't have to deal with out of sight, out of mind as much when you do a daily declutter. And this is really important for ADHD. What happens is you walk into a room, you put some item down, you put it behind something by accident or even intentionally, thinking about, I will remember where this thing is. And then you get distracted by something, or you think, hey, I'm going to go do this other thing and come back later and find it. And when you try to do that, you don't remember where it is. And that can create some issues if you have to be somewhere at a certain time, or you're just like, I really need this thing, and you have no idea where this thing is. And since there's clutter in the room, it's much harder to look around the room and find that thing again. So when you have decluttered your room or your home, much easier to just see just by scanning your room or scan the area that you're in, and still like be reminded as you look and you find that item, you're like, oh, that's where it is. So this doesn't happen as much when you have decluttered your home, and now it's easier to actually go through and figure out where things are, and that way you don't lose them as much. And also, this helps with time awareness, because when you do a daily declutter, you're going to do it at the same time every day, and you will get used to when that time is. You're going to do it in the morning or night, or when you're getting ready to go to bed, or whatever time. And you're probably going to choose a specific time you're actually going to do this thing. And so if you do it every day at the same time, you'll get used to how much time has passed before and how much time passes after. And then you're going to get used to how much time you're going to do a daily declutter each day. You'll get used to how long that feels like. And then you'll know, okay, I've been doing this for a while. It feels like it's getting kind of long. And so then you'll realize, hey, I've probably been doing this more than 15 minutes. And if you do, that's fine. But at least you'll know that passage of time. And that's really important for ADHD, because sometimes we just get into the process of not knowing how long something takes or estimating time, and that can be a real big issue. But with this, you're going to create a routine of doing this thing, and then you're going to also have a better understanding of how things or how long things take. And doing a daily declutter will actually help you break perfectionism, because you know that you only have 5, 10, 15 minutes to go around and do this. You can't be a perfectionist and make everything perfect when you know you have a limited amount of time. You're going to have a timer as well, so you know how much time has passed. And when you get to the end of that 15 minutes, if you wasted time trying to make everything perfect, you're not going to get a whole lot done. And so when you do this every day, you're going to get used to, okay, this is all the time I have to actually do this and get through this thing. So I can't be perfect. I just have to go around and do as much as I can within that time. And then you also know that you have another day you're going to come back and work on this again and do this again. So you don't have to be perfect right now. You can actually do some today and then do some tomorrow, then do some the next day. And that way you break it down to where you don't feel like that it has to be perfect before you finish on the day that you're actually doing this. You know there is another opportunity. You know that there's only a limited amount of time. And so you get into the habit of just saying, okay, how can I do this good enough? How can I get it in a good enough actual state so where it's not cluttered and it's just more clutter free, and I'm able to maintain it to be clutter free? And here's something else. A daily declutter actually helps with motivation with ADHD. And that's a big issue with ADHD, not being motivated. And so this helps because instead of doing these long decluttering sessions, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and just huge amounts of stuff that you have to declutter during that day, then you're going to break it down to 10-minute, 15-minute sessions and do a little bit each day. Much easier to get motivated for that than to get motivated for something that's a big task that you have to do for a very long time with ADHD. You think about that, you're like, there's no way I want to start that. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be frustrating. I don't want to sit in one place for all that time trying to do this. And then, not sure when I'm going to get done or when it's over. Instead, you have a 10-minute, 15-minute session. You know when it starts, you know when it ends, you know it's not as big of a project. When you're actually going to do a daily declutter, you do a little bit each day, and each day it gets a little bit easier because you know, hey, this is not so bad. I finish it, I get through with it, I do a lot, and then I come back the next day and do more. And when you get used to that routine, you're going to get more motivated to go and actually do that thing, because it just becomes part of your normal everyday routine. And that makes it much easier to get started and go through and complete that task. And something that's really cool about this is you find more space in your home. And that's really important because your home can be really cluttered. A room can be really cluttered. And when you walk in that room, it just doesn't feel comfortable and you can't find anything. And then you just are like, okay, I just want to go ahead and get out of this room because there's so much stuff in here, or it's just too much clutter for me to actually look at and stuff like that. So you go through, do this process, do the daily declutter, and you're going to find more space as you get things out of your home. And that's going to free up areas where you're going to be like, okay, I can put more stuff there, or I can just leave that space open. And that's going to make your room feel more open, feel more inviting. And that way you can figure out, I needed space for this specific thing. Now I have the space for that instead of having no space at all. And that can be a very good thing for your home, because now you can actually keep things you want to keep in the space you want to keep them in, and still have room to have a spacious, more inviting room, more inviting home as well. And as you go through and do a daily declutter, you're just going to feel less stress in your home, in your room, because you're getting rid of things, you're getting rid of clutter, you're freeing up space. It's a more open environment for you. And so you're not going to feel as stressed, as uncomfortable when you're in that place with clutter. Also, you're going to feel less stressed because when you go to declutter, you know that you don't have to do it all at one time. You can do a little bit each time and still get to the same result that you want to get to, where is a clutter-free home, or at least a more clutter-free home. And that can be a very good thing. And then you can relax as you start actually seeing your progress, going from having clutter in your home and then decluttering, and then eventually getting to that point to where you're like, this feels a lot better because there is a lot less clutter in my home. And so another thing that you can do also is I have a video about the different habits you need to do a daily declutter with ADHD. It goes over all these different habits that are very good, very easy to do, very easy to apply. You can do it right now, as a matter of fact. And that video is going to come up on the screen. Just click it, go watch that video.